Well, hello. It's another time to walk with Antréa and Shankar. As part of our Shank Show, we make sure that you have a great start into your day. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about why life is too short and what it is too short for. And don't forget that we are huge believers in not letting life slip away. Come on, go to shanks.club, and be ready to change your life today. Antréa, life is too short. What are 3 sentences that come to mind for you?
Life is too short to not do the gestures and hand motions you just did that no one can see right now, because those were awesome and they hyped me up as you hyped you up, as you hyped them up.
All right.
Life is too short. No. So I had been thinking about this, and the truth is that it's just so simple. Life is too short to not be happy. I think above all, rich or poor, tall or short, fat or skinny, living near the ocean, living near the mountains. Life is too short to not be happy. Single, married, kids, no kids. And what that means is that all of those things do matter. They do matter because they are connected to one's happiness. And life is far too short. What is the point of working until you die if you're not happy with where you work, how you work, who you work with, or what you do? Like, life needs to be purposeful and you need to be happy. It doesn't mean happy all the time, but it does mean that for the most part, your state of being is happy. Now, that is not to say that there's not high levels of stress that especially high achievers are used to dealing with. It doesn't mean that you won't have hardships. It doesn't mean that, again, that everything you do will make you happy in every moment, because it is a condition. But it's just not worth it to be miserable. And you've got one life, and life is far too short to be unhappy.
Well said, Antréa. So, when you say all those things do matter, what do you mean with that?
Money can't buy you happiness, but maybe it can buy you an education. And maybe that education will allow you to get a job. And maybe that job allows you to do what you love.
Okay.
And maybe doing what you love allows you to be happy. So, again, it's you don't live.
Oh, I'm the first person who will tell you money does make you happy.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, and I use that as one example because I think the flip side of that is you can have all the money in the world and still be empty inside and still feel like your soul is longing for more.
Absolutely.
And we know firsthand, both you and I, working in European government systems, because I was with the Ministry of Education, which honestly, you could probably do that job the rest of your life, like even if it's not necessarily in the same country.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't, at the end of the day, fulfill you in all the ways you desire to be fulfilled, it's not happy and it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I mean. I mean, it could go both ways. So it's with money, it's with relationships, it's with, maybe I tackle the one that's very broad.
Yeah, but it's a good one. And that doesn't mean, to be very clear, it doesn't mean that you cannot be happy without money. It just means that money makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, you can be happy without money. But enough of that.
Well, just one thing.
Yes.
It's about what it enables you to do.
Because it's energy.
Yes.
And you get to do with energy.
I wasn't even going to make that point, but go ahead.
Yeah, you use the energy in good or bad ways, and it's up to you. You can build a war machine, or you can build a paradise for you and your loved ones to enjoy life, or your community to prosper and grow. Or if you do what Antréa and I are doing, what we are doing, you create a small ecosystem of happy workplace, happy employees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just today was Boss's Day.
Yay!
And I had
Wow.
and I had a few messages sent to me. One in particular really stood out from a guy, and guys typically don't like go into depth of what they are appreciative for, but this employee chose to do that, and it really meant a lot to me. And he thanked me for creating this space where really people are respected. And I will tell you, Antréa, you create that space. Really, this Boss Day was your day too. It's just that I guess you didn't include yourself.
You're the big boss.
The big boss, the big dog.
Yeah.
The big dog. All right, so happiness for me really is having that sense of fulfillment and purpose. So fulfillment is something that is almost by definition something that is self-centered, is internally. It is how much do I fill my heart, body, and soul up with happiness, with contentment, with joy, with just the pure happiness of being here on this planet and enjoying life. That's fulfillment. Purpose, in my eye, is something that is guided, points outwards of you, of your person, right? Fulfillment takes care of you. Purpose takes care of what you do to impact the world. And when I look at most people, even religions, they have this element of what do you do with you and what do you do with the world, and then of course when it comes to religion, what do you do with the Creator, right, and His Spirit. So but we'll keep that to the side. I'll for my intents and purposes talk about fulfillment and purpose. And really when I try to summarize that in 3 sentences is, where do I do what I love and with whom? Okay, so where, what, and who. And for me, that trilogy of location, of occupation, and of really company, that is the perfect trifecta of the recipe of happiness for me. And I have been in a set of circumstances before my immigration to the United States that really I had no reason whatsoever not to be fulfilled and happy. And I'm not saying that I was an unhappy, sad person, but I was not as happy as I am now. And for those of you who know my story, I worked as a law enforcement officer. I was in Luxembourg, which is a small, socialistically minded country. Life was very predictable. Life was very geared towards stability and knowing what the future looks like, right? And my immigration to the United States broadened all those possibilities. We still have predictability and we still have abundance, but we have also an absolutely broad, huge spectrum of possibilities here in this beautiful nation, especially in Texas, where there's still the sense of pioneering has transferred over to business ownership as well. This is a state of electricity, gas, finance, automotive craft. There's so much here. There's so much here. And that is why location matters to me. Next, what am I doing? I'm creating this awesome space with you where we have, as I mentioned earlier, happy employees that can take care of their lives and families, whatever matters to them. They want to be parents, they want to be activists, they want to build something, they want to become specialists. We enable that. You and I, Antréa, we go through so much pain as we grow this company. It's literally pain at some point, you know, during some days, very, very, very mentally challenging, very energetically challenging as we grow this company, take it to $1 million in revenue. And that is a beautiful sacrifice because it's a giving sacrifice. It gave so much. And then, of course, last but not least, with whom do I have the privilege to do that? With an absolutely very, very smart and selfless individual, but also one that is absolutely on the same page about life, about important things of life. And that is you, my dear Antréa. And I'm so blessed and so happy that I'm given this chance to walk this path with you. That so early in life, others wait. They have to go through several marriages and whatnot. And granted, I've had a few relationships, so I guess I've also had to get through a certain process. But um, it's just absolutely amazing to be able to do that together, work together, eat together, sleep together, work out together. We're going to do more traveling together, um, disclosing each other's wishes, vulnerabilities, dreams to each other. And it's just absolutely beautiful to live like that. That right there is the definition of happiness to me. That is my why life is too short, to not have any of this. And again, I guess I went a little bit on a a speech monologue here, Antréa, and I apologize for it's my enthusiasm and happiness that got me there.
It's your day. It's your day. Well, I mean, I
yeah.
kind of feel like you said it all, but I guess if I just round out with the other two that I had, it would be that
Please.
Life is too short to not do meaningful work.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is life is too short to not help as many people as you possibly can. So I can't really take credit for those two. I think it's pretty easy to think, yeah, be happy. You know, what that means, you have to think a little bit deeper. But I think everybody would agree that life is too short to not be happy. And even if we're not thinking about it at the top of our mind, we all want that. But in terms of doing purposeful work and helping as many people as we can, I don't think we always think about that. So what I did was I researched the top regrets that people who are at the end of their life have, and that's what I translated their regrets into: not helping enough people, not doing work that was meaningful enough to them, and then ultimately, of course, the third one I selected was not being happy. But how deep is that? You know, we're not worker bees that just go and take their, I actually don't know what worker bees do other than collect honey and protect the queen, which to me sounds pretty purposeful. It really does. But anyway, I digress. We're not we're not robots. We think, we feel, we bleed, we love, we cry, we have all of these emotions, but it's everybody knows that whenever you feel like you have no purpose, everything is dark and hopeless. And to me, I just can't imagine. No, actually, I can't imagine, especially if you have a family. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be like you're a mom and a dad, or you have a family in that way. You can be a brother, a sister, a cousin, an aunt, you know, a wife, whatever. But when you are trying to survive, you don't care what you have to do to make it, even if the work that you do is meaningless. So I think the first thing we need to do is get ourselves out of survival mode and get ourselves in a position where we can thrive. And once we are, especially if you're not surviving, especially if you're not struggling, especially if you're not trying to make ends meet, which unfortunately is a lot of people, then we really need to think about the work we're doing. Is it meaningful or not? Is it purposeful or not? Does it align with our visions, our values, our goals, and not out of like selfish desire, but I mean truly what your gifts and skills are. Do they align? Do they match? Your values, especially. We talk about that a lot in our company because it's really important for us to have team members that are not just going through the motions, but who truly, truly feel fulfilled. And it's not every single second of the minute of the day with every task that you do, but for sure you want to be sitting in the right seat. We talk about that a lot. We read books like by Gino Wickman, Traction, all of these kinds of things that will tell you how important it is to have the right person in the right seat. Why? Purpose. Purpose, purpose, purpose. And of course, also what they're good at, but there's a correlation. So we ought not ignore those things, right? And it sounds like you have some thoughts.
No, I was just approving and really. Well, I mean, no, I mean, I do. Of course, I have thoughts. I mean, it's this. It is this challenge as company owners, but also as an individual, to align skill with purpose. And I think you played or read a segment to me from Simon Sinek that also spoke about that. You know, if you have dysfunctional teams, it's very likely that you have people in misalignment with their skill set and purpose.
Patrick Lencioni, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was him. So, by the way, this is why we brought Shanks.club into live, because we want to enable and give information to anyone and everyone who wants to seek that in their lives. Okay. This would apply to folks who are just thinking about starting a business, but also apply to people who are in our situation, which we are. Again, right now we have a company, 10 people working for us and with us, and on track. Our goal in front of our eyes to breach $1 million in revenue. So I think that when it comes, we spoke earlier, Antréa, about why do we feel so much friction right now? Why is there so much pain leading this company? It's because we need to grow. It's because yeah. And, you know, it's just that there's these life cycles in companies. First you're a freelancer, then you transition into working with others. You start having employees a little bit more. And I'm not saying that we're far away from having hundreds of employees, but we're just definitely seeing that taking your company to the next level, optimizing processes, knowing what it is that you want, who do you want to serve, and how do you want to serve, all of that, defining that just is painful to get to it, because there is an evolution that needs to happen. There is people to say no to, there's opportunities to say no to, there's established things that you need to change. And people don't like change. They say, well, why all of a sudden now you're coming and you want to change? So that is definitely the path we're on right now. And yet in all of this challenge, you walk in happiness.
So there's one more that I have.
Okay.
Life is too short not to help as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And again, I got putting yourself in the, for lack of a better word, dying frame of mind really sobers you up. Like when you're gone, who have you helped? Who benefited from you while you were living and even after? And was it one person? Was it two person? Was it three people? Not to say that's not important, because it is. But I think when we go back to happiness and money really being connected to that, it's because we know what it enables, and we know that if we had a choice, like if a genie came in a lamp and we rubbed it and we had three wishes or something like that, a lot of people would wish for material things, but smart people wish for assets that can create more things.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about, go ahead.
I was such as knowledge and health.
Knowledge and health, and also like the basic fundamentals to build a business. Because when Mr. Beast, we've been watching a lot of Mr. Beast lately, folks. And on one of his shows, there was a credit card that he gave to people, and there was no limit on the credit card. So he'd walk into a random place, he and his crew would give a credit card to a couple or family or whatever and say, you can get anything in this store. There is a credit, so they lied. They said there's a credit limit on this card, but if you go over it, you put everything back. So the challenge was twofold. One, to see what people would get, and two, to see what was the boundary, what was the limits like. And it's so interesting because you knew the difference between the survivors and the thrivers, and the ones that didn't have a clue. Maybe they were like too young to really be able to measure money in that way, like teens or ones that don't really work to support families. And there were all different ones. There was an adult, there was a teen, there was whatever. And so after they racked up whatever it was, of course there was no limit. So he'd tell them after they spent $4,000 or $10,000 or $2,000, like that there was actually no limit. You'd get all kinds of varying expressions, mostly gratitude, but some was like, oh my gosh, I could have gotten so much more, right?
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about it is it's like, well, what would I do if I was given a credit card with no limit, like a limitless card? I would get that. I think years ago, I might have been like those shoppers that were just getting whatever electronic was amazing, like TVs and not materialistic things, but you're in a store, so it has to be materialistic to some degree. Right. And there were various stores, so it just really depended. Some were art galleries, some were electronic stores, some were like shoe stores and retail, whatever. But the point is that if you're wise, you'll accumulate things that can make you more money, that can generate more money, because
assets.
There's yes. So I think about, what does that have anything to do with helping as many people as you can? Well, you're limited if you can't multiply at an exponential rate. And helping as many people as you can means it goes beyond you. It goes further than you. So when you do something, you think about the ramifications. Is this just going to help one person? And we see that all the time. The hero in the story might, it's kind of messed up, but there might be a few casualties so that the world can be saved. I mean, everybody is like super proud of the hero for saving the day. How many people are mad that the two people got taken out in the in the car when they were on the way, like in this crashing scene or whatever action shot? People don't really mind that as long as the effects are greater. Some effects are greater than like the toll, and that's like in our lives. We go through things. There's a few casualties, maybe our ego, maybe our sleep, maybe our time, maybe our precious peace sometimes, but it's for a greater goal to help as many people as we possibly can, to expand our business so that we can touch more people. And That's what I feel like life is too short to do, to not think like that, to not say, okay, how many people can I truly affect? How many communities? How many lives, you know?
I think that is absolutely going to have to be a workshop in Shanks Club. I think you should lead that. I think you would be brilliant to do that. And I'm sorry that I bring that up again and again, but that's really what we see for Shanks Club. For $7 a month, my dear friends, $7, less than your daily cup of coffee, you can tap into our wonderful world of boundless energy, boundless willingness,
limitless credit card.
No, you're not gonna get a limitless credit card, but
of knowledge, though.
We're gonna give you means and knowledge in there that could give you access to credit cards that you're in a position where you're almost limitless. Okay?
Well, and the reason this is so important, and the reason why I love Shanks.club, is because we give people access to tools. And I do say access because the tools, even if you have them in your hand, but you don't do anything with them, you're not making the most. But if you do, if you can harness that energy and just basically take advantage, especially of all of the knowledge, all of the lessons that you've learned, all of the things that you've gone through, all of the mistakes that you've made, all of the, ways to make it. And I can't even call it a shortcut, because shortcuts feel like cheats. Yeah. But it's just, you're the teacher that has brought their lessons, and you get to learn how to make wealth for yourself and make your life a little bit easier.
Well, let me give you an example, because here's what Shanks Club is really about. Is I just want to share so much that helps. And what I have seen in life is that if you pay for something, you take it seriously. If you give away stuff for free, people won't apply it. So even though $7 will make a difference. But what I do almost daily is I test run software. Okay. And whenever I see a deal, I will point it out to you, and I will point it out to my Shanks Club members, because they deserve knowing, okay, this will work for me, this won't work for me. And there's a platform that I often go to. It's called appsumo.com, and you have lifetime deals on there. It's just that not every deal is a good deal. Not every software is worth spending your time. And what I will do, just naturally out of curiosity, I've been following AppSumo for years, is I will try the software, and then if it's any good, I'll let you know. Actually, today I stumbled across a software that I really want to try. It is a software that scans your face, and then you can input it into a marketing tool, and it will take a snapshot of your target audience's website, and then your face speaks about that website. And the reason I know about it is because one of our clients said, who gets emails every day wanting his money, wanting his attention, he has learned to put those emails into the junk folder right away. But this email, he reached out to us because he trusts our judgment and said, this email really caught my attention. Look, the woman has our website up on the screen and she talks about it. How did she take the time to do that? Okay. And we explained this is a technology that does that on a large scale.
Who wouldn't want to click their homepage in a video? Yeah.
So that is, for example, one benefit, only one benefit of Shanks Club. And here's what you can do for us. If you join Shanks Club for $7 a month, and what we have as a goal in 2023, we want to get 1,000 members. Okay, so those 1,000 members will help us really pump incredible value into that club.
This gets me excited all over again.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to learn. And I think if you just if you just listen to you for any amount of time, you understand that you are like an almanac, an encyclopedia full of all of these useful tools that just really do make your life a little bit easier.
Well, and then just think about the entertainment that we have dedicated, we have committed to providing this entertainment right now daily. And you enjoy it, you listen to it, reward us for it.
Yeah.
By joining. It's that simple. Okay, enough infomercial here.
I think they get it.
They get it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, here's what one of our mentors, John Lee, always says. You gotta earn the right to sell.
And
okay?
You gotta learn before you earn.
And you gotta learn before you earn. That's something he says too. So we hope that during our we've been with you for 31 minutes now, and I believe for 25 minutes we didn't pitch, okay? So 5 minutes was pitching. I will admit that.
Well, type in the chat if you think that's hilarious.
Okay. Yes, type in the chat if it's hilarious, or at the very least, give us the haha emoji. The haha emoji?
Yes, the funny emoji.
The funny emoji. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Well, my dear friends, we hope you will have a wonderful, wonderful day ahead of yourselves. And that's all for right now. We're checking out. This was Antréa Ferguson and Shanka Ponsley from beautiful